shaping, Jack? How's it feeling?
Good. Yeah, really good. I mean, it's the start of the finals weeks now, and we had 4 days off, and boys were pretty edgy to get back, and we had a good couple of training sessions so far, and now a big build up this week, and yeah, looking forward to it. Mentally fresh. Yeah, we had a good 4 days off for the guys to freshen up their bodies and the mind, and then get back into it. And the guys know what they've got to bring, and had a good break. And the sessions we've had already have been outstanding, and now a big week to build into it.
How'd you rate having a couple of days off on a boys down the road? For example, they went the other way. They got smashed on the track for a few days, and you guys had a few days off. How do you?
Yeah, look, it was nice. Yeah, and look, we had the early bye in the year, and that was probably a bit to do with it as well. And certainly our group are going to benefit from having a couple of days in terms of the body and the mind. But look, we've had a couple of really solid sessions since we've been back as well, and this week will be like it has been a great build up and a couple of good training sessions. So yeah, it was good, but we're pretty keen to get into it.
Does it feel different this week, Joe?
As in finals compared to?
Normally when you rock up on a Monday and it's round 20 against Gold Coast somewhere, but this is...
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a lot better. We're training now rather than at a bar somewhere. Certainly rather this. So, but it does. I mean, it's finals footy. I mean, it's something in the air that you can't really explain unless you're actually a part of it, and it's pretty special. And certainly this is the best time we're playing footy, and yeah, so it's nice to come in on a Monday preparing for a game this time of year.
So how's this feeling compared to the last couple of September?
A lot better. A lot better. Yeah, I mean, finals footy is what you play for, and yeah, we've come in today preparing for a big game this weekend, and as I said, it's a lot better doing that than sitting somewhere at a bar. So we're pretty pumped.
Do they make more the older you get?
I think you understand probably a lot more. I mean, my first year I come here and we played in a grand final, it was probably all went straight over my head, and didn't realise how hard they are to get into and then be a part of. And I guess then having a fair few lean years and understanding the hard work it does take and how challenging it is to actually get there, certainly do realise that they are pretty special and they're hard to come by. So I guess now that I'm pushing 30 and played 200 odd games, that they do become a lot more a lot more special in some way, and you're probably getting closer towards the end of your career. You want to get some success that you haven't had, so yeah, they are pretty special.
You've got a few selection questions obviously ahead of Saturday's final against the Eagles. Did you get much clarity out of the Sanford game on the weekend?
Oh yeah, no, we certainly we got some opportunity to see some boys play still some pretty good, strong football, and that gives them an opportunity to be a part of the selection decisions that we have to come up with, a little bit later in this week. But again, training tomorrow and all those things will still play a part in that. But we're pretty comfortable. We've got a really healthy, strong list ready to go. Now we've got to pick the side that gives us the best chance to beat West Coast.
Matty Broadbent looked a little bit proppy on that ankle at the start of the game against Sturt, and obviously played it out, but how do you sort of assess his game and how's he going at the moment?
Yeah, he's still in that process of recovering, I think, and he's still not quite at his absolute best. So we'll consider all those things in our decision, and obviously with that in mind, Broggsy's probably got another game or two in front of him, hopefully in the SANFL before we'd consider him seriously for the AFL. But we're in really strong form in the AFL as well, so we're not looking for too many people to come in and take a spot.
What about Jackson Trengo? Didn't finish the game, got a bit of a head knock in the last quarter. How's he sort of pulled up?
Yeah, he's fine this morning. He's been in here this morning. He's fine. He seems okay, but obviously he'll go through all the procedures that he needs to go through to make sure that he's got no delayed effect of concussion or anything like that. So I suspect right now he'll be available for selection.
He looked pretty handy during that game as well. Is he pushed his way in?
Yeah, like I said before the game, Jacko's in really good form. He's doing everything he possibly can to be a part of the team. He can only do what he's done so far. It's up to the the coaches to pick the side that we think's best to give us the chance to win this game.
What about Jarman Impey? Obviously, he was really good Saturday as well. His pressure acts and stuff like that.
Yeah, we can't complain about the form of any of the boys who are right on the edge for us. As I said, we've got a healthy list. We've got a Magpies team that's now in the second semi-final. We're playing for a grand final this week, and we've got an AFL team that's in an elimination final, and so we're going really well. And we've got a SANFL reserve side that's also in a second semi-final, so we're really healthy.
With Jackson, are you locked into playing him as a more forward predominantly, or can he slot in and play that extra key defender role which he sort of played a man down a bit in the Gold Coast game?
Yeah, certainly gives us that flexibility. He's got great flexibility for us, and Jacko can play anywhere we need him to play, as he's shown this year already. He can play in the ruck, he can play in the forward line, he can certainly play in the back line. So they're all options for us, and they're all healthy options.
Ken, about the bye week, you're in reasonable nick coming in anyway. You've had the pause, but obviously you had the bye really early in the season. So is the bye working to your advantage? Are you happy with that concept, or would you rather just have gone straight in?
No, because it's the first time we've done it, I can't probably answer that clearly other than say we're looking forward to the opportunity on Saturday night, and if we play well, we'll probably think we needed it. And if we don't have the performance we want, we're not going to be a club that's going to blame it. I don't think that's an issue. I think each club's got an opportunity to prepare themselves really well as best they possibly can with 2 weeks off.
And you've been strong picking the side on form, but how do you weigh up the experience that Trengovan and Broadbent offer compared to the young guys who played their roles?
Yeah, it's exactly what we'll do. We'll sit down and weigh up what we need and what we think's best to try and beat the West Coast Eagles. That's the key part of it. It's nothing to do with so much to do with the experience versus the inexperienced players. It's about what we think's best to give us ourselves a chance and the boys a chance to win the game Saturday night. And that's the way we'll go about it. We'll pick the side based on winning and beating the West Coast Eagles, nothing more.
When you match up with the Eagles, you've got their experience. Does that change your selection at all when you're going a heavily experienced side against, potentially playing a younger?
No, it doesn't. You look, in any game you go into, you acknowledge what you do really well. You give some thought to the opposition, but usually in a final, more than often than not, it's a combination of both. You've got to know what they are, what we are, and hopefully pick a side that's going to be able to play the game style that we've played most of this year that gives us a chance to beat them. And it won't come down to how old they are or how old we ain't. When the game starts on Saturday night, it'll come down to the best execution.
Does your mindset change youth versus old selection-wise, given it's a final and they're usually slightly different, pressure-wise and tackling-wise and all of that?
No, not for me. I pick the best team that's available to win, and that's what we'll do. Whether we think that's someone who's a bit younger or someone who's a bit older, it won't matter.
Trav, how do you lead the boys? You've had a brilliant couple of weeks on the field, but how do you lead them off the field, given every mistake in an elimination final seems to be magnified for the entire summer if it goes wrong?
Yeah, look, we've got to approach it, like we have probably the last 3 weeks. They've been, I think the way we've played our footy has been the most pleasing thing, and we'll do exactly the same thing this week in terms of what we expect from each other. And look, it is a bigger game, let's be honest. It's an elimination final, and there's going to be nerves around that. There's going to be some anxiety around that, but that's all part of it. And I guess as senior players and as a leadership group, we've got to speak to the younger guys about that and make sure that they just enjoy the week, and but then bring it back to what we do best, and that's what we need to bring on Saturday night, and that's what we've brought probably the last 3 weeks and been the most pleasing thing, and that's what we'll talk about most.
Can it be sense that from the group, given the last couple of years you haven't made finals and this year's been a pretty good push? Is there just a sense of the boys are just ready to get into whatever comes their way and not overthink the fact that it's an elimination final?
Yeah, I would have thought. I think so. I think they're ready to play. They've, they've had a couple of years. Some of the boys haven't had a couple of years where they've missed out in the finals. But the bloke sitting alongside me, he's been lucky enough to be a part of some final series. He knows how much it means to a player to be a part of that. We've had a couple of years where we haven't been able to do exactly what we'd like to do. Hopefully, we'll show that we've missed them.
Do you look back and think back to the famous elimination final a couple of years ago? You say, if I could just replicate what we did in the lead up to that, do you take that experience, or do you just think that was just a one-off and who knows?
Yeah, no. I think it's just a different game. It's a different time. We're in a different space. We're different opposition. All those things go into the mix. But it's all about this year. It's all about this Saturday night, and it's all about our preparation leading into it. That will give us the best chance to perform the way we would like. It's a close competition. It's been a close competition all season. So I don't think anyone will be going into any game thinking it's going to be blowout games anyway. In any way. For us, it'll be about trying to be a four-quarter team for the whole of Saturday night.
Can you speak about the home ground advantage?
We haven't got one, have we? We're playing West Coast. I think we won 5 or 6, haven't they, over at Adelaide Oval? So maybe they've got the home ground advantage. I think we'll have a home crowd advantage. There's no doubt about that. But again, we've been in not too far, but we've been in games, big games and finals where we've played interstate. Doesn't matter too much once you start playing, because you know that at the end of the night, the winner's the only one that progresses.
Is there a benefit, I suppose, more so at your home ground to getting a faster start because the crowd just lifts straight away?
Yeah, well, certainly the Port Adelaide people will be noisy, I reckon, so that'll be very good for us. I'm sure the boys appreciate that opportunity, but again, when the ball's bounced, the contest is on, it's just got to stay strong over the ball and get the ball going our way as best we possibly can. But we know that the Port Adelaide fans will make some noise and they'll help the boys.
What is it about West Coast that's let them be so successful at the Adelaide Oval against you?
Yeah, it's they've been able to play a game that's hurt both sides, probably not just ourselves, but we've played some really dominant football against them not that long back over in Western Australia, but we played a pretty strong game against them too here in Adelaide Oval, where we dominated large parts of the game, but they were able to hit the scoreboard easier than we were. So we've got some confidence that we can play our best take them to a point where they don't want to be, and hopefully for us we can do that again on Saturday night.
So what do you take, because like the one in Perth you obviously dominated, and like you say here you dominated as well, just didn't hit them on the scoreboard. So what do you take from those two games that you'd like to implement on Saturday?
Oh, no, I think we want to play a similar style. We're not going to go about changing the way we play. There's no doubt about that. We'll try and play the same style. We'll try and limit the damage that they were able to do when they get the ball best we possibly can. And obviously for us, if we can, convert a few more of our opportunities, that will put them under a bit more pressure. If that's the way we can play the game, we'll be pretty pleased.
Ken, that round 7 game, was that a bit of a turning point in terms of maybe the delivery into the forward line? It's been obviously a lot improved, even in the last 6 weeks. Maybe that round 7 game was that sort of when you guys went, right, we need to fix a few things going forward?
Yeah, we've acknowledged that our forward entry stuff has always been, an area that we've tried to improve on throughout the whole of the season. I said as a football team right from the start of this year that we would improve a lot between the start of the year and the end of the year, and I believe we have, and I believe that's one of the areas that we have improved a lot, because we've tried and changed a lot of new stuff in our football program over the last 12 months, not just the last 3 or 4 weeks, but over the last 12 months. So we expect that we've got better at that. We hope we've got better at that, but we're playing one of the absolute best defensive teams in the competition have been able to restrict sides from scoring, so it'll be a good challenge.
Plenty of big bodies in their team. Are you confident we can match up against them?
Yeah, no, we are. I mean, again, the result will probably be written up whichever way in whoever's favour. If we win the game, it'll be we've got it right. If we perhaps don't quite get it right, I suppose there's potential for people to say one or another reasons we got it wrong.
Tommy Jonas has usually been your man for the big key forward jobs. He's locked him down all year. He's got the reward, I suppose, with the All-Australian squad. But Josh Kennedy this week, no Tom Jonas. How much thought have you put into who and what, or have you got it pretty simple in your head?
Yeah, we've got pretty simple. We're pretty clear with what we can do and what we can't do, and we'll make sure that we give those blokes their opportunity, but we'll give them great support to handle such a good player. He's been such a great player against not just us, but against all teams this year, and he's going to take a fair bit of work, but if we can limit the supply that he gets, put him under a bit of pressure, that will help whoever gets to play on Josh.
Trav, a bit of a different role for you this year, more than last year in the guts a lot more and all that sort of stuff, but last 3 weeks you've really turned it on. What's been key to sort of changing it around?
Look, mate, I've just been doing what I've been doing all year, to be honest. I have played a little bit of a different role, but it's been quite enjoyable all year, and the last 3 weeks have been probably a little bit better than it has been. But yeah, look, I've just tried to continue to lead well, be the best captain I can, be the best leader I can, and that's sort of all I've focused on. And yes, some results have gone better in some games, and now it's crucial. And this is the most exciting part of being a part of a footy club and being a leader at a footy club. This is the best time to play footy.
Has that role changed in the last couple of weeks, Charlie? Have you been playing more midfield minutes than you were like earlier in the season?
No, it's all stayed pretty similar. We've sort of shuffled around a little bit, and it's been great that we've been able to have a lot of depth through the midfield and have different guys run through there, and it's probably shared the load a fair bit, and probably great for this time of year that we've got some guys that are still really fresh because we've been able to share that load. So yeah, it's been quite enjoyable doing it.
So what is it for you, Joe? The ball just bouncing your way more often? Or
might be, yeah. It's just starting to come to me a little bit more.
Can your thoughts on Sam Pepper finishing third in the Rising Star? Or was it a bit stiff on missing out on that?
Oh no, he's had a fantastic season. It's a high quality award where there's high quality people involved in it, and it would be wrong to be disrespectful to any of the other boys that finished in front of him or any of the other boys who were nominated for the award. I think Sam's just had a great year, but it's a reflection of his team. It's not a reflection of him personally. It's more a reflection of the team and how well the team's played, and I think Sam would acknowledge that. He'll be pretty happy if he gets his further rewards as they go through the rest of the final series.
Right, can I just ask there's still a couple of thousand tickets left? What's your message to fans about getting out there on Saturday night?
Look, we need as many as we can get out there. They do provide a huge benefit for us as players. We absolutely love it, and I spoke about it a couple of weeks ago that the 2014 final there when they came out was one of the best moments. Just hearing them roar before the game was huge, and it certainly helps our group. And so if we can get a full house there, that'll certainly help our group. There's no doubt about that, and provide a bit of a cauldron. So yeah, hopefully we can sell the rest of the tickets and get a big crowd.
Just back on the experience versus youth thing, Trav, just from your point of view, to see young players performing so well, what's that do for a senior bloke like yourself in the senior corps?
I think it creates a lot of excitement. You see the young players, you see what they do off the field and on the training track and the work they put in, and then to then replicate it in a game is what creates excitement, certainly for the rest of the playing group. And we've got complete confidence in our whole playing group that whoever takes the field will then produce what we need as a playing group. We don't need them to go out there and have 30 touches or be the best on ground. We need them to provide what we spoke about before the game in terms of what we need to do as a group to win, and that's all they need to do is play their role, and that creates excitement when you've got young guys like Aidan Johnson and Darcy Byrne-Jones and these sort of guys leading the way in that area, and it just creates excitement around the group, and it does lift the rest of the group.
And you will seek them out and try and settle them, or?
Yeah, look, there's no doubt, but I think they're a really mature group, and they know that they just need to go out there and play their role. That's as simple as it needs to be, and it's going to be nerves. There's no doubt about that. It's a big game of footy, but it's exciting.